The first thing you want to do when you're etching a tile is figuring out what aesthetic you want to go for. All of the ones that I have here are made of ceramic and are fired already, so they're pretty much ready to go. However, for the sake of viewing ease and everything, I think I'm going to go with this brown one. This one right here. So, right after you finish that, you'll want to measure the tile. We measured the tile, and it's about 200 millimeters. So, we'll throw that in. Using Word, it's about 7.87, but we're not going to go to the full size. Instead, we're going to shrink it down to about 7 inches to give us some room on the edges. Once you've got that, you'll double check, make sure that you've printed it out at the right size, and cut off the excess. This part doesn't need to be very precise. Then you'll put it on the tile, kind of align it, make sure everything works out. Take some Mod Podge. This is the one I use primarily for larger pieces that don't have as much detail. You'll put that on there, and then smooth out all of the air bubbles with a razor. You want to put some excess on so that way it pushes out the side, and that way you know that you've gotten all of the air bubbles out. Once you've got that, I throw it into my dehydrator in order to dry it out more quickly at about an hour. Once it's dried, just using some regular tap water, we'll take it and rub off all of the excess paper, leaving behind the design that you want. Now you can leave it as is if you want, but for the purpose I'm going to etch it. Make sure that you use some hearing protection because this is extremely loud and it will damage your hearing over that long of a time. But then you'll just take your time etching into the material and you should be able to get what you want relatively quickly. Make sure you're using water during this time. As you can see me spraying it, even though I'm using a Dremel with a diamond tip, it will heat up, and if you don't use water to cool it down, it will damage the end of your tip. After that, we just dry it off using a little acetone and some elbow grease. We can get off all of that excess Mod Podge. Now you could leave it as is here, but I'm just using a smaller bit in order to kind of even out the rough pieces. And then after doing that, we are left with one more wash, getting rid of anything else, and we finally have our finished altarpiece.